Hello my fellow golf addicts and welcome to Golfer on Fire. In this video, we're going to take the time to organize the teaching and playing of golf into a logical model that gives you plenty of room for you to add your own special little nuances and create a golf swing that works for you. So stick around. Hey gang, it's Paul the Golf Guy here from golferonfire.com. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to discuss the golf swings and some teaching methods and how it all works together to make this thing happen. So there are some singular methods of teaching being taught out there, I'm not going to pick on any one, but there's coaches out there that teach a specific method, and that's the only method they teach, and that's fine. There's really nothing wrong with that. But any golf teacher that completely dismisses another method is a little insane. There's no one particular perfect method to teach the golf swing. Okay, there just isn't. There's almost as many methods out there as there are teachers, and that's okay. The same thing goes with the golf swing itself. Don't get caught up on trying to find the perfect golf swing. You want to find the perfect golf swing that works for you. And if you look at the tour over the past 20 or 30 years, you'll see all kinds of swings out there. You look at Jack Nicklaus, Chichi Rodriguez, Arnold Palmer, Jim Furyk, that big loopy swing that Jim does. John Daly takes it back further than any of the guys on tour. Their swing works for them. They're completely different, but in the end, they all work fairly well for these guys on tour. Some better than others. We can get into arguments about that, which we won't do in this video. But they all swing the club a little bit different, and that's okay. That's what we want you to realize, is that having your own swing is okay. We need to develop a swing that works for you. And whatever method it takes to get you to that end, that's fine, okay? So, okay for teachers to teach a specific method. I have a method that I like, but just because you're not getting it, or if I see that it's not working for you, I might show you something that's a little bit off of that method, because I want a swing that works for you, okay? Now what we're going to talk about today in this video is laws, principles, and preferences. Now the preferences side of that is really what makes the swing unique, and the other two are things that you really want to keep almost standard. Now the first thing, laws, for example, laws are basically unbreakable, all right? Such as the law of gravity. The law of gravity, if you jump off a building, you're gonna crash to the ground. Simple as that. That law doesn't change for anybody. Anybody jumps off the building, you're gonna go crashing to the ground. The only time that changes may be if you're in space. Now laws as it applies to golf are stuff like centeredness of impact, club head speed, squareness of the club face. Those are laws. There's actually 5 laws in the golf that pertain to the golf swing, and we're not going to go through that stuff because I don't want you to get caught up on memorizing that. That's not as important to you as some of the other stuff, and we'll get to that here in just a little minute. The second thing is principles. Now a principle is something that has an effect on that particular law. In the golf swing, it's things like grip and aim and stance and stuff like that. So if you have your grip correct, your squareness of the club face is going to be correct, and therefore that principle of the grip has a direct effect on that law of club face squaredness, okay? Preferences are, and there's 14 different principles that we use in golf, and again, not going to get into all that stuff, but you'll start to see that pop up as we go further along in these lessons. The last thing is preferences. Now, preferences are endless, okay? Preferences are things like, how you take the club back. Do you take it back do you take it back slow? Do you, the weight shift and all that kind of stuff. There's some variables there that work differently for everybody, and that's what makes your swing unique. So how does all this stuff, and it's endless, and it has to pertain to the golf swing, obviously. If you like the color blue, that has nothing to do with the golf swing. It's not going to change it. So the preference has to be something that relates to the principles and the laws as they pertain to golf. How does this all work together? Well, if you take the law of club face squareness, for example, That's the law. The principle that relates to that is the golf grip and how you grip the club. The preference to that might be, do I use a 3-knuckle grip, a 2-knuckle grip, a 1-knuckle? Am I overlapping? Am I interlocking? Am I using 10-finger grip? Again, there's a myriad of preferences that work on the grip alone. Some work better than others, but it's whatever works for you. And again, that's what we really need to focus on, is what works for you. How do you know that? How do you know what works for you and what preferences? You got to test it out. You start from a really good solid base, then you test it and you see what works for you. Whatever results you get, then you say, okay, that was a good result or that was a bad result. You make a quick change and you try it again. And that's how all of this stuff works together. And moving forward, you're going to start to see, oh, that's a law, that is a principle, and this is a preference. And this is how all this stuff relates to the golf swing. So again, no need to memorize a lot of that stuff. We just want you to understand the basic principles of the model that we teach so that you can use those things and then create your own personal swing as we move forward. So in the next video, the first thing we're going to address is the golf grip, which most golf professionals will agree is one of the single most important principles in golf, because it is the way we connect ourselves to the golf club, and it is the way that we get the best squareness of the club face on the ball. And the squareness of your club face is one of the biggest influences on the golf ball. So that's why it's very, very important thing to learn. So next video, we're going to talk about the golf grip. And I know you guys may be a little bit bored with hearing the grip, but I can tell you this, if you don't have your grip right, it makes it very difficult to get all the other stuff right. You have to make a lot of other adjustments in your swing. If you get the grip right, the rest of the stuff will come really, really easy. And it will feel a lot more natural to you as it progresses. If you have it right and then it feels weird and then it progresses, then it's a lot better than if you're doing it wrong and it feels right and you progress. That's not the best way to go. And again, we'll save that for the next video, but something really important to remember. So thanks for watching, guys. That was our video on laws, principles, and preferences. And we'll see you again in another video very, very soon. I'm Paul the Golf Guy. Thanks for watching.